You really believe you can defeat me? How cute. Ludicrous, but cute. You will become my minion of destruction. That is your fate, and to think otherwise would be a fool's game. If you really believe you can defeat me, then be my guest, but I won't be very welcoming. If you really believe you can defeat me, then enter my trials. If you win and escape, you may return to your world. If not, well, you're stuck with me for eternity. You will aid me in the destruction of this pitiful world. The fates speak differently, but I have always believed I am the master of my own fate. Welcome to Diceathon. May the dice be in your favour. I am very excited for you to join me on this journey. We will complete trials that have been given to us by Cinder, the evil sorceress that has trapped us in her realm, and she wants to trap us in the realm to be a minion for her so that she can take over the world, and if we don't defeat her in this world, then she'll be coming after our world next. To complete the trials, you will create a character. I will go into this later on in the video, all your options for character creation. You will have to solve puzzles, complete tasks in real life to progress the story, and you must defeat monsters. I will go into how that works as well. To do this, you will have to read, and you will have to complete life prompts as well. Well, you don't have to complete life prompts, but if you want to heal up, then life points are advisable. You don't have to complete reading to do this. You can level up your character by doing life points as well. It just takes 3 life points to level up, whereas finishing a book, you will level up automatically. But if you are a mood reader, don't worry, there is an option that you can level up based on the amount of pages you read. So even if you don't finish a book, you can still count it if you choose that option. I'm a mood reader, so that is why I'm providing a mood reader option for you. So if you are doing the version where it's based on the amount of pages you read in order to level up, then you need to read 300 pages worth to level up. There are 20 levels overall. With each level, you do more damage per 100 pages that you read that will be used to defeat the monsters. You will also gain more health, which will be used to survive the challenges and the monsters that you face as well. As you level up as well on certain intervals, you will be able to choose new abilities based off your class. I will now go into the races and the classes and how to create your character. So the first step in creating your character is to choose the race. There are 6 races. I will show them to you. Then I'll explain each race and what that race entails for you in this journey. Okay, so races. So the first one is human. If you choose human, you start with 15 health, but you have studied medicine. So you gain 1 health potion every monster fight. If you don't use it, in a monster fight, it can carry over to the next monster fight, and you start with an armor score of 13. Now, when I discuss combat, I will go into what the health potion does and what an armor score means. Okay, so next up is an elf. If you are an elf, you start with 20 health and have the ability to disengage a fight and re-engage whenever you are ready. This may mean that maybe you need to heal and you need to go and complete some life tasks in order to defeat this monster and stay alive. You start with an armor score of 11. So next up is a shifter. If you choose to be a shifter, you can choose anything you want to transform it into. It can be a real animal, it could be a mythical animal, or it could be an animal you make up. It is completely up to you. Get as creative as you want to be. Now, being a shifter allows you to transform once a fight to do double damage for that turn. And you start with an armor score of 14. So next up is a gnome. So you start with 15 health. It's a bit lower than others, but because you're small, you can use 2 surprise attacks each fight to do double damage. You start with an armor score of 11. Okay, second to last race you can choose is a vampire. For this, you start with 25 health, and it gives you the ability that if your health was to be reduced to 0 in a fight, then you would instead gain 5 force health points for 2 days. This allows you to go back and heal before fighting. It gives you that window of time. But after those 2 days, the force life points disappear. And if it's reduced to 0, then you need to try the fight again. You start with an armor score of 13. Okay, so last up is a dwarf. As a dwarf, you start with 25 health and you have a starting armor score of 14. But once per fight, you can choose to add 2 to your armor score, so 16, which means, well, I'll explain it in the combat in more detail, but it means if the monster rolls a number lower than 16, then you do not take damage. So it just increases your chance of not taking damage. Okay, so the next stage of character creation is to choose your class. There are 6 classes in total, and don't worry, you do not have to remember any of this in this video. Feel free to watch it as many times as you need, but there will be a manual that we put in the Discord channel, and I'll go into that later. So let me show you the 6 classes you can choose from. Okay, so that was a preview of the classes. So now it's time to reveal the classes in more depth. So the first one is Warrior, and this means you have the class bonus of adding 5 to your max health at the start. Okay, so next up is Performer, and this is for people who maybe don't read much or maybe have other creative hobbies or like to watch movies or that kind of thing, but still want to complete the prompts. So a performer class bonus is that reading prompts can be fulfilled by creative means. So this means drawing, writing, watching a film, etc. that is based on that prompt. So next up, the class is divine. This means you get a blessing on prompt dice rolls. You may roll a dice twice and then choose your favourite prompts. So next up is the nature elemental class. So this is for people who may be a bit outdoorsy or maybe like to go for a walk or spend time outside. So this means that spending time in nature or adding an elemental aspect to your prompt gives you a charge each time you do that. And if you reach 3 charges, it means that you can level up. Okay, so next up is the spellcaster class. Now this means that you can choose an extra ability to start with. So instead of choosing 1 ability to start with, you will choose 2. And it also means that you have 6 abilities to choose from instead of the standard 5. Okay, so last up is the inventor. Now this is a great class if you want a bit more flexibility on the prompt, or you want to be able to change a prompt to fit your needs. So this might be if you've got a fixed TBR and you really need to make these prompts work like TBR. That's just an example of where this would fit. So as an inventor, you have the ability to edit prompts to suit you. The only exception to this rule is a critical failure, and that means you roll a 1. That is the only exception. Okay, you have chosen your race and your class. So what are these class abilities I have been talking about? So these are abilities that you can choose. They are flexible. Some help with not dying in a fight. Some help with doing damage. Some like help with reading prompts and life prompts. But it really depends on what you feel that you need in order to escape Cinder's trials. Okay, so first up is the warrior. Now don't worry, you do not need to remember them. Just saying, okay, that one sounds cool. I maybe go for that class because it will be in the Diceathon manual that will be in the Discord, but I'll explain all that later. Okay, so for warrior, you have 5 choices. The first one is called I don't think so, and that means you can negate 1 point of damage to you per level that you are. So that means if you're level 1, you can negate 1 damage during a fight. If you're level 2, that's 2 damage a fight, etc. until you can negate 20 damage. Divided 5, but yeah, you can negate 20 damage. I can count. Okay, so the second ability is called Ready to Rumble, and this means you roll 3 points, 3 prompts, and complete 2. So this gives you a little bit of flexibility on which prompts you do, and it also means that you can do more than 1 prompt at a time. The third ability is called Lock and Loaded, and it is completing 2 prompts in a day gives you 1 turn of extra damage in a fight. Okay, so the fourth ability you can choose from is called Shield Wall, and this means that you can add 2 to armor score. And the fifth one is Enchant Weapon, and this means that when you're using this ability, you deal 5% more damage. Okay, the next class abilities is for the performer class. The first ability is called Charm, and it means that you may charm the monster that you are fighting once a fight to instead do damage to itself without having to roll to hit. That will make sense when I explain combat later on, but it basically means that for one of the monster's attack turns, instead of doing damage to you, it does damage to itself. The second one is Charmed Words, and this means you roll a persuasion check to get a clue for solving a puzzle. There will be a section to ask for a clue. It will also explain what a persuasion check is. Basically, you have to roll above a number to persuade. But I will explain that. And basically, you will get a reply to you asking for a clue that is spoiler free for everyone else. If you don't have this ability, please do not cheat. But basically, it will be there if you choose this ability. And the third ability is called Dance, and this means you may dodge one damage attack for each monster fight. So basically, if the monster would do damage for once during that fight, you can choose not to take that damage. Okay, fourth is called Healing Song. So you perform a song and heal for 3 health points. And the fifth one is called Stealth. When faced with a monster, you may enter stealth mode to choose when to engage. This may mean that you can engage later, or it may be that you counterattack when the monster attacks back. So I will explain that all when I explain combat. Okay, so the next class for class abilities is Divine. The first ability is called Blessing, and it means you automatically gain 2 health back every level up. So if you have taken damage during a fight or other parts of the trials, then when you level up, you automatically gain back 2 health points without requiring you to do a life pot to gain that health back. The second ability is called Divine Blessing, and you can call on a higher power once in the Diceathon to regain all health back instantly. This can be middle of a fight, it can be any time. The third ability is Divine Guidance. So once you have this ability, you may receive a message each week with a clue. And if you choose Divine in the Discord server and go into that, there will be a section for you to ask for that message. And basically, I will post in the Divine Guidance channel a message with a clue to that specific act of the Diceathon. So yes, so the fourth ability is called Blinding Light. So once an encounter, you may cast a blinding light to distract a monster, negating 1 attack damage turn. So it means that you basically cast a shining light, that monster is distracted, and you don't take damage that turn. The fifth one is Higher Knowledge, and this means that you may create your own prompt once a week or act, as there's 5 acts in this. There's 5 story acts, and then there's the 6th one when you get the treasure and everything, and all the badges and everything. Cool, but I'll explain that later. Yeah, so that's the Divine class. Okay, so next up in the class abilities is the Nature Elemental. So the first one is you get an animal companion. You may summon an animal of your choosing to deal an extra 50 damage per fight. Second is animal handling. During the first fight of the campaign, you can roll a d20. If above 14, you may befriend the monster and summon it at any time in the rest of the trials and control it to do extra damage to that monster you are fighting for that turn. The third one is called Healing Spring. You may drink its healing water and heal 4 health points once per fight. The fourth one is Farsight. You may select any prompt without rolling 3 times in the campaign. And the fifth one is called Ranged Attack. This means you can deal 1 turn of damage per fight without receiving any damage. So that's the Nature Elemental class abilities. Okay, so last two class abilities for the classes coming up. If you've already chosen your class and want to skip, you can skip ahead because there's loads of cool things to look forward to later on. But the next one is Spellcaster. Now, the first class ability that you can choose is called Mage Bridge. And this is if you are 2 levels off an advanced level up. I'll explain that when I explain level ups. So that's the advanced levels are the ones that give an extra ability, basically, but I will explain that later on. So twice in the campaign, you may complete 1 prompt to reach the advanced level. So basically, 2 points off the advanced level, you can do 1 point, and you instantly level up the 2 required to get to the advanced level. You can do that twice in the campaign through the whole of Diceathon, basically. The second is Mimic. You may choose any ability from any class. So this basically means that you can, so each fight, basically, once you have this ability, you can choose any ability from any class to help you in that fight. You may also do this out of combat as well. If you would like to take another reading prompt, one that deals with reading prompts and life prompts for the other aspects of the Diceathon, then go ahead. Okay, so next one is Mending. And this means that you can heal for 4 points once a fight. The fourth ability is True Strike. If you fail to hit a roll, you may count it as a success once per fight. So basically, if you fail the attack roll, which I'll explain later in the combat, I know I keep saying that, but basically, you may count it as a success once per fight. And the fifth one is Time Travel. You may roll back a turn, avoiding a turn of damage, or be given an opportunity to try again on a 2-hit roll. You may do this once a fight. Okay, so the last class that I'll be going through class abilities for is the Inventor. Now, the first ability, you can re-roll a prompt every 3 levels completed. So you can re-roll a prompt, and basically every 3 levels you complete, you get another re-roll. So you start with 1, and say you were then level 4, you would have had 2 re-rolls, unless if you hadn't used any, if that makes sense, and it then adds up. But if you were to use them up, then you would have to complete another 3, or out to level 3 if you already completed more than that. But you'd have to roll 3 to get that extra one, if that makes sense. If not, I can explain it to you in the Discord. Okay, so the second ability is you may roll twice and choose your favourite prompt. The third is Health Concoction. You may consume a healing potion once a fight to heal for 3 health points. So, okay, so this is the same as if you chose the human race. So you get a health potion that allows you to heal for 3 points. But if you're an Inventor, then you get a health potion once per fight as well. Now, if you're a human and an Inventor, then you would then have 2 health potions each fight. So just explaining clarification on that. The fourth one is Enchanted Weapon. You enchant your weapon so you do 5% extra damage than your current level states. And the fifth is a setting change. You may replace this prompt with any prompt from every class, but okay, when I say from everybody, just out all the class abilities, you can choose one from any class, but the drawback is you must change this ability with every encounter. So say you started with this, you would have to change it for each of the 5 acts. So that's just something to bear in mind. Okay, so next up is floors, as you may have seen just a second ago. So this is an attempt to balance your characters so they're not too powerful, and to make things a little more interesting. So you must choose one for your character right at the start when you are creating a character. So the first one is shaky hands. So on your first 2-hit roll every fight, you must roll twice and then choose the lowest number. The second floor is obsession. Once you start solving a puzzle or clue, you must finish it. And then the third one is memory floor. So once you have one or more abilities, you must roll a dice to choose a random ability you forget for that round. So basically, each fight you randomly forget. Depending on the dice's favour on you, you forget one of your abilities. The fourth one and last one is allergy. So this means choose a damage type: fire, lightning, acid, cold, piercing, poison, psychic. You are allergic to this type of damage, so add 1 damage to every successful hit roll against you. So that is the flaws, and next I will be going into the rules of combat. Okay, so now up for combat, and don't worry, you do not have to remember this. There is a really helpful diagram in the manual for you that explains each of these steps. So first step is to roll for turn order. So you roll a d20. So you roll for yourself, and then for the monster you are encountering, and the one with the highest roll goes first. And next is the combat bat's turn stage. So whether it's you going first or the monster going first, it works the same for each one for what you roll and how it works. So basically, this is determined by rolling a d20 again, and if the number is higher than your armor class or the monster's armor class, then the score is successful and either you or the monster can deal damage. The monster image, which will be in the reveal in the story as well in the acts channel in the Discord, but basically in the description of the monster it will tell you which dice to roll. It might be d4, d6, d8 for which damage you take, and for you on a successful hit you may do damage associated with 100 pages read. So for each 100 pages read, that is the amount of damage based on your level. So your level will tell you 100 pages equals this amount of damage, and that is the damage that you have available in order to defeat the monster. Now life points, remember, also give you 3, well, each life point is equal to 100 pages read basically. So if you've done 3 life points during an act, then you can deal equivalent of 300 pages worth of damage. So to record your health, you have 2 boxes in the character sheet. You have your current health and you have your max health. So max health is gained from your race, from your class, and from leveling up. And this is the maximum health you can have. You cannot heal above that health. But your current health is your health subtracted from the damage that you take. Now instead of attacking in a turn, you can use an ability or health potion to heal during a fight. And then you add, so how much you are healing for, you then add it to your current health. And again, you can't go over your max health. Each ability can be used once each monster fight. That is until level 20. At level 20, during the monster encounter, you can use your abilities as much as you need. So, if your health reaches 0, you must roll a d20. If it is above 10, it is successful and you gain back 4 health. You have the opportunity to do this 3 times during a fight. So once a monster is dead, combat turn ends and you can use life prompts to heal your health. If you have any questions, there will be a channel for you to ask questions about this, and the diagram is really helpful and explains all of this. Okay, so last thing before I can go into the reading prompts and the life prompts is leveling up. Now, for each book you read, you can level up. For each 3 life prompts, you can level up. Now, what does leveling up give you? So, for each level up, you add 5 to your max health, and the so there's the standard level up, which means you, for each level up, you deal an additional 50 damage per 100 pages read. So you start with 100, then it goes to 150, 200, etc. But then every 4 level ups is an enhanced level up, and you don't do more damage. You still gain the max health, but you get to choose an extra ability based on your class. All the abilities in your class that you have, some classes allow you to choose from other classes as well. And at level 20, you may use all abilities during following combat as many times as you need. Okay, so you've seen the reading prompt bingo board. So basically, you choose your reading prompt by rolling a d20, and what number you get equals the reading prompts. Now, a natural 20, which is, as I said, gives you choose any book, but if you read a critical failure, which is rolling a 1, you have to read an intimidating book, and the rest of the prompts as well. Now, I think the prompts are self-explanatory, but if you do have any questions, none are too silly, then ask in the Discord. With the life prompts, you can just choose anyone. If you want to roll the dice, because this is a Diceathon, then feel free to roll the dice as you would in the reading prompt part as well. So roll a d20 and choose your prompt that way. That is particularly fine. Now, with the life prompts, if you roll a duplicate, so if you've rolled a prompt and you've already chosen that prompt, you have the option to re-roll. There is a duplicate slot in the table for you as well. And if you don't like a prompt, there is an option as well that is explained on the reading prompt, like bingo board. So yeah, so I hope you have fun with these prompts, and thank you for joining me on this video. If you've made it this far, whether you skipped some or not, I appreciate you. I hope you are as excited as I am, but I do have to say that I am not doing this alone. I have some amazing co-hosts to announce for this as well. So excited to do this with them. They are amazing people. A lot of them are in the two booktube D&D campaigns that I am DMing for, and other ones are love D&D in their own right and DM or play in their own games as well. As you may have guessed, this is a very heavily inspired readathon called the Diceathon that is inspired by D&D. So that is why I have chosen the people I've chosen to be co-hosts, as well as the fact that they are amazing people and I really want to do this journey with them. And I will reveal them next. But I do have two co-hosts that I won't be mentioning in this video, only because one hasn't given me a final message saying yes, they are completely in still, and another one is still a maybe, and I am leaving it up to them up until October. So I may be announcing a further two more co-hosts than I am announcing in this video, but later on. But I will tag all of these co-hosts in the description box as, and then I will add the other two if they join us on this journey later on as well, and I'll make announcements for them as well. So please check out the channels of all of these incredible co-hosts, amazing people, great booktubers. Please check them out. Okay, so co-hosts, I am so excited to announce these. These are all incredible people. Many of them are in my two booktube D&D groups that I DM for, and there are others that love D&D and either DM or play or do both as well. They're all incredible people. As you can probably tell, this Diceathon is heavily inspired by D&D. I am so excited to be doing this journey with all of these. I've selected them because they are amazing people and they love D&D as well. So I will read them in no particular order. Okay, so we've got Alex. You also know her as Alex Hale. And you can find her at Alex Story to Love. I'll open all of these in the description box so you can go and check out their channels and follow them if you haven't subscribed to them yet. And then you've got Hermie at the book Hermie. So go and check them out. And we have Beatriz at Beatriz's Book Nook. And then we have Noah at Bookwyrm. It's spelled WYRM, so I don't know if I pronounced it right. And then 1060 at the end of that tag, again in the description box. So then there is Renee at the Librarian of Alexandria, and at the book tag it is 6200 at the end, but again I will put it in the tag. Now you probably know many of these, but if you don't, please subscribe to their channels, check out the content. All of them are incredible. I am so excited to be doing this with you all. I hope you are excited as I am. If you have any questions, let me know. Just one last thing, either copy and paste the Discord link in the description box. For some reason links aren't working for me at the moment, but do that, or you can find a link in my link tree under the channel description of my channel. And of course I have those co-hosts, but I will also be hosting as well. There will be reading sprints, there'll be lots of exciting things during this as well. If you have any questions, let me know, and also comment if you are excited and maybe you have an idea of what you want to play. So yeah, I can't wait to see what you'll come up with and for you to hopefully enjoy this creation of mine. So I will see you soon. Okay, so I know I said that was the end, but I just remembered something and I don't know how I can forget. But I will be doing a watch along in my Discord as well during this Diceathon of the Dungeons and Dragons movie Honor of Thieves. So join the Discord to take part in that. If you just want to watch it and not take part in Diceathon, feel free to join anyway. And if you don't want to take part in the watch along, then you don't have to either. So this is actually goodbye, and I will see you another time.